Hey there, Saber fans. Levi here with Korbanth Sabers. Today we're taking a look at the Retribution. It's going to be an install guide on how to use this saber. And there's a little bit more to this saber than most sabers, so go ahead and stay tuned. If you're looking for the guide on how to put the rings on, that's in another video that we'll link down in the description. So yeah, let's move on. This is held together, two sides held together with a coupler here in the middle. So go ahead and unscrew from the coupler. There's the one side, and here's the other. So a lot of times with this chassis, because these pieces move, these can get tightened up against each other and it might be difficult to unscrew this coupler. If this happens to you, don't panic. The best thing to do, in my opinion, would be to go get yourself a gardening glove or a dish glove, something that has rubber on it with good tack so you can get a good grip on this. I've seen people use wrenches and pliers and just mark up their coupler really bad, so it's a lot easier to just get a good grip on it with this and loosen it. Alright, so the chassis is in there, so you can go ahead and poke it out with your finger. It should come out nice and easy. Alright, here's the chassis. Right here is our on-off switch.
I don't know if you're lying to me or for me, but we'll see. I don't know if you're lying to me or for me, but we'll see.
Alright, so easy enough. Locate the switches right here and align it with the buttons here. So if you don't have the rings on, you have to kind of be careful to line it perfectly, and then it'll work just fine. If you have the rings on, it guides in a lot easier, and you'll have to worry a lot less about aligning the buttons perfectly, because the screws from the rings will hold it in place. So go ahead and pop those in. Go ahead and check the buttons, make sure the buttons work. If they're not working, just fix the alignment. Like I said, when the ring is attached, the alignment is much easier. Alright, so this is the tricky part. This coupler is used for clocking the saber so that the rings line up, but also if you crank down this coupler too tightly, it'll lock up the chassis and the buttons and you won't get a good press. So you need to use this to both clock the two sides, but also use this to make sure that you don't tighten down the two sides too much and apply too much pressure on the chassis. So simply just start with one side. And what I like to do is, once I get it started, I'll test the button here.
Where is he?
And as soon as I feel the button lock up,
I will take what I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
go ahead and back this ring up until you get to that point where you feel it lock up.
Jedi, Lord Vader. I'm a Jedi. Like what? To what?
Alright, right there. I've tightened this in too much. Now the buttons are locked up, so I'm going to back it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to tighten this ring against this side. Alright, one side complete. Now go ahead and tighten this back over. Put this side on. See if I can't There we are. So now it's aligned. The buttons are working on both sides. And there you are. If you screw it back together and you find that they're misaligned, what you can do is you can do a full turn back and tighten this. Every one of these Sabers is going to be a little bit different with the clocking, so you're going to have to take your time, figure out how to space the rings on the coupler so that you can both align both sides and have both buttons work well. And that's all there is to it. And one quick note, go ahead and fully charge both batteries overnight before this process. Make sure they're fully charged when you turn on the Saber and get the coupler spacing just right with the buttons. You can go ahead and just leave it on. There's a sleep mode on the Saber, and it'll just power down to low power mode, and you know, avoid the whole headache of opening this thing up and turning it on as much as you can. Also, just so I pointed out for you guys, the blade retention screws are right here and right here on both sides. The Allen key needed is provided in the bag, so that's about it. Thanks for stopping by, Saber fans, and I'll catch you all next time.